I'd been through the program with Chris. I'd given up alcohol, drugs, nicotine through his program, and I thought I could do with just that little bit more attention. And I'd heard that he's running these retreats, which gives you a bit more face time with Chris, which I thought would be invaluable. So, because I have been doing the Wednesday groups and the Monday intensive groups, but I thought having a whole weekend with him, driving up to Hartford, and staying in a beautiful house, and being with Chris more or less one to one for a lot of the time for 3 days, I thought would really cement the program for me. So I travelled up with him. He picked me up and we drove up there, and from the moment I got in the car with him, I felt at ease. My anxiety level dropped. He has such a nice approach with the way when you can say anything to him, any problems. I had a bit of anxiety about the retreat. I did have a little bit, and straight away that was dismissed from his methods that he'd reminded me how to apply it. So we arrived. It was a beautiful house in the countryside. It was lovely. The people there were lovely as well. And from the first evening, the nice meal together, and we'd started prepping for what would entail that weekend. And then early-ish night on the Friday, up at the crack of dawn for yoga first thing, which was brilliant. Again, I'm a 28-year-old bloke and I was a bit sceptical with it, but I loved it. It was fantastic. And then we were all gathered round on the sofa after we had our NutriBullet smoothies in the morning and our nice breakfast. And that's when, again, the education started. One-to-one, I mean, coming to the Wednesday groups or the Monday intensive groups is not the same as having 6-7 hours with Chris of just him going through each page of his booklet, and it really is bringing that booklet out into life. When we'd spend a good hour on each page, because you can read through his booklet, and anyone at home can download the booklet and read through it. But when you have him there, bringing everything out and making an example of each, because sometimes your mind can wander when you're reading. I think when he's there and he brings you back to it, that can really make a difference, and really it makes it a lot more effective. So that was the Saturday. Saturday night we had a karaoke night. It was fantastic. Everyone was bonding really well. Great bunch of people, all there with different problems as well. It wasn't just it wasn't just drugs. It wasn't just alcohol. It wasn't just anxiety. It was a bit of sugar. It was a bit of someone was there to help their business as well. It was a real mixture of things, and it all stems from. And what you realise is it's all from the mind, and all these problems are created from our mind, and that's what Chris really homes in on that, and that's something that, leading on to the Sunday, what made me think, right, there's other stuff in my life that I could look at and address. So on the Sunday, that's change day. That's what we call change day on the retreat, and we woke up again. We had a few hours of more educating to get us to that point of where the contract's written. And I decided, it was a really powerful moment, and I decided on about 3 o'clock on that Sunday in November that I was going to give up caffeine, antidepressants and sugar. So that was non-essential foods. That was, I know it off by heart, it's really, so it's chocolate, biscuits, cakes, puddings, ice cream, sweets. So I thought they are foods that just tick a box, and you'll understand if you know the program with what I mean by that. Tick a box in your head, and it gives you a rush, and it's something that you crave. And I don't want to be governed by anything like that. I don't want to feel like I am controlled by a food to have to need it. So I decided, no, I'm going to cut out all non-essential foods. Caffeine as well, that adds to anxiety. Why do we need caffeine? It's just to give us a kick. We don't need that. We can generate that ourselves. And antidepressants as well, they suppress you, and Chris explained they do suppress you. And it was my decision with that. That wasn't Chris's decision because with antidepressants, doctors recommend weaning off. I went through the 10-day withdrawal. I was self-talking after that Sunday when I signed that and dated it. Don't get me wrong, there were day 3, day 4, day 5. I felt a bit funny, but then using the method, self-talking, bringing it all back, pulling the thoughts out, dismissing them, anxiety, we pull the thought out. questioning it, and then dismissing it, you feel so much better straight away. So then after that, day 10 had come round. By day 8, day 9, day 10 of stopping, it had all gone out of my body, and since then I do not have a single want or need. Now, to this day, as I stand here now, I do not have a want or need for alcohol, drugs, nicotine, that's vaping, cigarettes, anything like that, sugar, caffeine and antidepressants. So I actually do not have any addictions right now at all, thanks to Chris Hill.